Good Friday morning, everyone, and welcome to NYSE TV Live. I'm Kristen Scholler here in studio at the New York Stock Exchange. Well, we are coming off a closed session for the stock market. We did see that equity trading off yesterday in observance of the National Day of Mourning for former President Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter died on December 29th at the age of 100 years old. And as for today, Wall Street is looking to end the week after what has been a shortened week of trade, but of course a day filled with economic data and the final day of one of the world's biggest annual tech events. Let's take a look at what's on tap this hour. Investors are reacting to some fresh jobs data that was out earlier this morning. And a pair of Wall Street experts will join me to discuss what it means for the state of the U.S. economy and how it could impact the Fed's rate cut timeline. Meanwhile, the Consumer Electronics Show does finish today, and advancements in artificial intelligence are generating plenty of buzz. We'll speak with industry leaders at NYSE-listed companies like Oshkosh and BlackBerry about how it is impacting their business strategy in the new year. Plus, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, as the market opens, charitable organization God's Love We Deliver will ring the opening bell. My colleague Trinity Chavez will speak with the CEO and president, Terrence Meck, later in today's show about how this organization is helping provide nutritious meals to New Yorkers and what the organization's biggest goals are for this year ahead. All right, well, for our viewers just tuning in, we do want to give you those jobs numbers. We get them on one of the first Fridays of every month. And at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released the final non-farm payroll report of last year. And this was the takeaway. The U.S. economy added a very robust 256,000 jobs in December. The estimate was 155,000, so a beat by 101,000 when it comes to those job gains. As the unemployment rate in December did tick a little bit lower to 4.1% versus the estimate and where it was previously at 4.2%. Of course, this strong economy has continued in the wake of the pandemic, and we're starting to see the job gains decelerate from a boom in 2021, but still jobs growth above 200,000 any given month does point to a solid economy. Well, joining me now with more is Ben Emmons. He's a founder of FedWatch Advisors. Ben, it's great to have you on the show this morning. And as I mentioned, a much better than expected jobs report. What does this mean?
Yeah, good morning, Kristen. It's a good number, and I was surprised myself. You know, I do estimates on it and run a little model, and it really pointed in my model to an upside surprise, but this is even bigger. And it does underscore, though, that there's just a lot of people coming back into the labor force, finding work. And although the median duration of employment has increased, it does seem to be real demand in the leisure, hospitality, and construction and government sectors, even healthcare as well. So it just shows an underlying strength in the economy that continues and doesn't get weakened by higher rates or weakened by uncertainty geopolitically or anything like that. So I think it's about an economy that has already taken off while the Trump administration is just to start. So we can expect more of the strength to continue from here, which also means likely that Treasury yields are going to go a bit higher from here too.
Interesting. So for 2024, with this final December jobs report, Ben, 2.2 million jobs added last year, down from 3 million in 2023, 4.5 million in 2022, and 6.4 million in 2021. Again, a lot of that boom in 2021 in the wake of those pandemic layoffs. You mentioned earlier you expect the momentum to continue into next year. Are we looking at gains of 200,000 plus for job additions each month?
So that will be amazing if that happens, because as you indicated, the strength has been slowing because of the effect of the reopening of the economy was so enormous that the people coming back into the labor force was very large at start and then starts to slow over time. And so it's interesting to make this point to say that this year could shift it, right? Meaning we're going to go higher with the payroll growth trend again, because we're creating more jobs as we start to further increase economic activity domestically with the incentives that the Trump administration is planning to give the economy. Lower tax cuts, lower taxes for corporates, and more incentives to invest here. And then as a result, you're getting more jobs. So I would make the call at least that we're going to see some further strength in this first quarter. And that's against the original consensus But further out is to be seen. We'll have to see how the tariffs impact the economy, how uncertainty further plays out. But it does look like a robust picture. So it's definitely not a situation where we slide off into any kind of recession at all this year. Rather, payroll growth will stay healthy and robust.
I think that's good news because we could see some volatility, as we normally do, around interest rates when it comes to the stock market, Ben. But your note there that you do not anticipate a recession should bode well long term for the markets based on experts that we've spoken to over time. But I do want to get your take on rates because many investors have been watching the path forward for borrowing costs or interest rates based on the Fed's move, which of course is a dual input of jobs and inflation. Do you anticipate that we get rate cuts in 2025?
Well, if you listen to Michelle Bowman yesterday, who is actually the most hawkish on the FOMC, right? Someone who's more prone about inflation and keeping that under control, then December was the last rate cut that we have seen for the time being. And it seems that some other FOMC members are coalescing around that view. And so it's not impossible to see no rate cuts, at least for the first half of this year. You know, we can't think about the second half because there's just too much uncertainty about what happens then. But the fact that this economy is actually above trend and that the Fed policy is now closer, what they say, to the neutral rate, to neutral, means that there's actually not much room to cut at all. And if you look at this payroll growth number, and you're looking at the wage numbers and you can apply some productivity from that, productivity is actually picking up. So that too indicates that the neutral rate is probably moving a little bit higher even from here, giving the Fed even less room to cut rates. So I think on all of that basis, the Fed has to stay on hold here, basically being in some sort of a quote-unquote lame duck position, if you will, right? It can't really raise rates, but it can certainly not cut rates at all. So it's likely to stay on hold for the time being.
We had heard Fed Chair Powell at that final December meeting forecast inflation of 2.5% this year, down from 2.8% last year. Based on this new input of data, does that change your expectation for inflation in 2025?
Well, the Fed was aggressive in its forecast, I felt, but core PCE, upgraded by 0.4% for this year. That's the largest single increase you've seen over the last 10 years. So that may materialize, because we do have a lot of forces that are developing for inflation. Not to mention this payroll growth, but also what we're seeing playing out in the energy markets. Plus, if you do going to boost the economy with more investment, you're going to, by definition, getting a hotter economy, an economy that could grow at 4-5% range. That just implies an inflation rate that's not at 2%, but likely more at 3% or higher. So it is likely that we're going to see more inflation this year. And that would be leading to this Fed being very on guard, as in it may not hike immediately, but it would be very cautious about moving with policy and signaling that they're ready to move if inflation does go up even further. So expect a higher inflation environment, which also then reflected in that volatility, as you mentioned. The VIX is now above the average from the first Trump administration, the first year. I think that's notable too. Markets are gearing up for more volatile years if inflation picks up.
Ben Emmons, founder of FedWatch Advisors. Ben, thanks so much for coming on, especially on a day when rates are in focus.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, well, up next, one startup is teaming up with Intel at the Consumer Electronics Show, and the company's co-founder will tell us more about how the collaboration will fuel AI efforts. That's next.
Obvious Ventures is a firm renowned for its world-positive investing approach, focusing on companies that aim to make a meaningful impact across industries, and has been instrumental in backing some companies that innovate in sectors from food and energy to health and beyond. To talk more about the trends and technologies that are reshaping industries while fostering positive change is the co-founder on this episode of Taking Stock. So I do want to talk to you about your world positive approach. Talk to me about this concept, the motivation behind starting it, and what it really means.
We started Obvious 10 years ago. And we started with this contrarian idea that the biggest companies of our time would be companies solving humanity's toughest problems. So think about the climate crisis, chronic disease, income inequality. We want to use venture capital to fund breakthrough technologies to improve and solve those problems, to make every American's life better. And that's what we mean by world positive venture capital.
And talk to me about the industries that you focus on that help achieve your mission and your goal.
Well, we invest in these three pillars. Planetary health, so that's about decarbonizing the economy, generating renewable energy, electrifying transportation. We invest in human health, and that's everything from better for you food to better healthcare companies and better biotech companies. And then lastly, we invest in economic health. And that's really about helping people find and do their best work. How do we help Americans get better jobs, get better trained?
And across these three sectors, what are the biggest trends you're noticing right now? And how do you identify which companies you want to invest in?
Well, there's one trend that spans all three of those pillars, and it goes by two letters, AI. I suspect this has come up in other conversations, but we're seeing AI as a major technology disruptor. And in particular for us in planetary health and human health,
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live, everyone. I'm Kristen Scholler here in studio at the Stock Exchange. CES 2025, which ends today, features companies ranging from NYSE-listed public firms to those early-stage startups. In fact, some of these companies are teaming up at this year's event. And I do want to bring in my colleague, Trinity Chavez, with more. Trinity, good morning.
Hey, Kristen, good morning. You're exactly right. EdgeRunner AI, which closed a $5.5 million seed round this past July, announced a partnership with tech giant Intel. Together, they aim to bring on-device AI agents to Intel's AI computers. And one major reason that this is possible for EdgeRunner's Athena solution, which delivers personalized AI agents on device with natural language processing, very similar to a typical human conversation. The startup had specifically developed this for the military, as it offers both defense and enterprise users a hyper-personalized assistant. Tyler Saltzman, co-founder and CEO of EdgeRunner AI, is joining me now to talk more about this. Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's great to have you on the show. Now, EdgeRunner AI recently closed a $5.5 million seed round, right? So what are the key factors that really helped you secure this funding, and how does it position the company for growth long term?
You know, I'd say the number one factor is our team. We have an amazing engineering and science team coming from Stability AI as well as Twitter AI. And also my background being a military officer, as well as my co-founder, Colton, formerly working for the House Speaker Paul Ryan.
Now, what inspired the partnership with Intel, and how did this collaboration come to fruition?
Yeah, it started when I was at Stability AI, and we were training Stable Diffusion, and the vision was to give the world an alternative to NVIDIA's CUDA. This is sort of the successor of that vision of wanting to train on different backends like XLA, but really it's compressing these models so they can live on your device. That way, you're no longer having to use something like OpenAI's ChatGPT, where they can see your data, and it requires internet connection. So we're solving for both of those. No more internet connection, no more moving your data, and then lastly, super personalized, meaning occupation specific.
And EdgeRunner Athena focuses on device AI agents, right? So why is on-device processing so crucial compared to cloud-based solutions, specifically for enterprise and defense applications?
I think the best way to use AI is, rather than moving your data to them, you bring the AI to you. And what that means is, rather than having to use, again, like OpenAI or Anthropic, where you have to move your data to them, when you have the agents on your device, they're personalized and they're working for you, and no one can see your data. Moreover, it's also much more cost effective and less energy intensive now that it's on your laptop or your cell phone, rather than having to use the web.
And Athena was originally developed for military use. How did the transition from defense to enterprise applications shape the development of the platform?
You know, we're still laser focused on the military, but of course, once you can solve for the military's problems, these agents that are bespoke and occupation specific can easily be retrofitted to accommodate an enterprise. So for example, let's say we have an Army logistics agent, that agent can also serve a FedEx, a UPS, or an Amazon.
Personalized AI agents with natural language processing similar to human conversation are a standout feature of Athena. How does this technology enhance user experience and productivity overall?
Yeah, so think of it as like a ChatGPT, well, a better, more personalized version to you. But again, it never needs the internet. So imagine something like ChatGPT that's very specific to you and your role and what you need to do. So for example, if I ask ChatGPT how to do Army logistics, it's only going to have a very broad scope. But with this, we're building it very bespoke to who you are. And I'd say that's what it's all about is the better customer journey, the better experience, and more importantly, augmenting who you are. And again, making it personalized.
Now, looking beyond the Intel partnership, what's your vision for Edge Runner AI in the next 3 to 5 years, and how do you see the role of personalized AI evolving?
You know, the vision is, we become the standard for all agents on device. What I love about Intel, again, is their latest Lunar Lake architecture chip that they unveiled at CES, but they're coming out with more like Arrow Lake and others. What I like about Intel is they just keep pushing the pace of innovation. And of course, they're also, they dominate the PC market, about 75% of it between HP, Lenovo, and Dell. So Intel is great for distribution, but also their technology is phenomenal for on-device agents.
And quickly, tell me what your key focus area is then in 2025 to achieve this goal.
I'd say our science team's going to keep leaning in with Intel's OpenVINO's toolkit. Think of that as sort of like NVIDIA's or Intel's CUDA. Basically, Intel has OpenVINO where that allows us to optimize, that's the software layer on the chip, for us to optimize these models to move them more effectively. So I would say that's the biggest focus right now is ensuring our models live there and live there well.
Well, thank you again for joining us on the show, Tyler Saltzman, co-founder and CEO of Edge Runner AI.
Thank you.
Now, we're accustomed to seeing AI across computer platforms and technology devices, but did you know that it's also being deployed on fire trucks and airports? Well, coming up, the CEO of NYSE-listed Oshkosh tells us how his company is utilizing the technology for the everyday hero. So stick around.
Welcome to Floor Talk. It's great to have you on the show today.
It's great to be here, Judy, and it's a real privilege to talk to you.
So you are the CEO of Agilent.
Yes.
Tell me about the company and what you do.
We're the people behind the scenes that keep your water safe, your food safe. We advance therapeutics, so we test pharma and biopharmaceutical drugs as they're released. So we're the people behind the scenes keeping the world safe.
Now, you held your investor day today at the New York Stock Exchange, and you introduced a new strategy. So tell me about that strategy and what it means for your stakeholders and the industries that you serve.
We're becoming more customer-first strategy, so it's a customer-led strategy led with our markets. So our three main markets are pharma, biopharma, clinical and diagnostics and applied. So we're really leading with our markets and seeing how we can bring more solutions to our customers and faster innovation across these markets. So we're really excited about it, and we've also launched a transformation in the company called Ignite. And that's really to help with our customers, making it easier for them to do business with us, for employees, making it easier for employees to work and be more productive, of course, and for customers and our shareholders, of course, to continue our growth.
Now, can you share more about these high growth opportunities and the solutions you're providing for them?
Yeah, I can share one really good example. So Forever Chemicals, you probably heard of that, PFAS molecules and compounds. We test for that globally, so it's a big emerging business for us. So we are the ones that help testing labs test for these molecules. And to give you a sense of our detection limits on our equipment, think about a drop of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's the level of detection we can do for these compounds, and it's, of course, moving to different modalities, so we're there to really test for these compounds.
Now, today you rang the opening bell to mark the 25th anniversary as a public company.
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live, everyone. I'm Kristen Scholler here in studio at the Stock Exchange. Well, leaders at this year's CES event in Las Vegas are envisioning AI advancements across virtually every sector and implementing the technology in new ways. My colleague Judy Shaw has more.
CES is all about innovation with purpose. Joining me from CES is John Pfeiffer, CEO of Oshkosh Corporation, to discuss how their purpose-built vehicles, like fire trucks, recycling trucks, and mail delivery vehicles, are leveraging cutting-edge technologies to shape the future of specialized industries. John, it's fantastic to have you here with me today. I know you took a step away from the trade show to come and talk with me, so I appreciate that.
I'm happy to be here, Judy. Thanks for taking some time with me today. I really appreciate it.
So now, John, CES is a technology show. So how does Oshkosh fit there? And why did you decide to exhibit at the show?
Our theme at this show is technology for the everyday hero. So we're a big company. We serve a lot of different end markets, fire and emergency segments, the environmental segment, the construction segment, the aerial work platform segment, the airport market. And who we're serving are people in our economy that do really the hardest work and dangerous, tough work. You know, you think about a firefighter, think about somebody in refuse and recycling collection. These are tough jobs and dangerous jobs. And we use technology to really make life better, safer, and more productive for those people doing very difficult work. And that's in the form of autonomous functionality, electrification, artificial intelligence, digital connectivity, and it's pretty exciting stuff, how we're changing how work gets done. That's so important to keep our economy moving.
So John, tell me, what did Oshkosh announce at CES?
Our exhibit is focused on those technologies I just mentioned, and it's centered around the airport of the future, the neighborhood of the future. So if you take the airport of the future, what we do, all those vehicles that you see on the tarmac of an airport, moving jets around, moving the luggage around, cargo loading vehicles, even the jet bridges, that's all the equipment that we make. And we're able to make it more autonomous than it's ever been before, autonomous cargo loading, even autonomous baggage handling from the terminal to the plane and back, making it more consistent, quicker for people and for the airlines to get the airplane in and out of the gate effectively. So it's pretty exciting what we're introducing from an autonomous standpoint and from an artificial intelligence standpoint.
And why are electric vehicles right for route-based fleets for essential services such as last mile delivery, fire and emergency response, and refuge and recycling collection?
Yeah, so we're a big electrification company. I mean, we take 80,000-pound vehicles that you would never think could be electrified, and we've electrified them. Same with the Postal Service. The Postal Service gets an economic benefit by putting electric vehicles in their fleet because it's more productive and it's lower running costs. They're running it 6 days a week in the Postal Service, as we all know, and they get big payback as they continue to electrify their fleet. It's all about economics. It's not about anything other than economics.
And finally, John, tell me, what impact do you anticipate that AI and autonomous technology will have on industrial and vocational vehicles in the future?
It's huge. I think one of the best things that we do and one of our best core competencies is autonomous functionality and even artificial intelligence now. When we make things autonomous, even moments of autonomy, we're driving big productivity gains for how work gets done. Productivity is critical to an economy as it continues to grow. We want productivity.
All right. Well, John, congratulations on your exciting news coming out of CES. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks very much, Judy. Have a great day.
Our thanks to Judy Shaw for that interview. Well, my colleague Trinity Chavez rejoins me now. And Trinity, based on that interview, the airport of the future, souped up with autonomous baggage handling and cargo loading. vehicles. What do you think?
I mean, this is incredible. And I mean, you probably hear the crowd just right behind me as we're gearing up to ring that opening bell, Kristen. But I mean, this is just one of the displays and showcases that are being announced there on the ground at CES. And this is the largest tech conference to take place in the world. And it's all happening in Vegas. It attracts over 140,000 attendees. More than 4,500 companies there are displayed, many of which are NYSE listed companies who we've been talking a lot about here at the exchange on NYSE TV Live. And I also want to point out that it attracts over attendees from over 150 different countries. They're collaborating, being at the forefront of innovative conversations as to the latest and greatest coming out of the tech sector, Kristen. And so, you know, this whole week has been jam-packed with a lot of action, and you know, we're probably going to be covering it again next year.
I would think so indeed, Trinity. I know, as you mentioned, you've spent time on the ground in Las Vegas for CES in years past. And of course, we'll continue our coverage of CES through the end of this show. We've got a lot more coming up, including my sit down with BlackBerry QNX president Matthias Eriksson. He had all sorts of things to say, of course, about BlackBerry's rebrand taking place at CES. Well, stay with us. We will have the opening bell up next.
On this episode of Taking Stock, we are thrilled to have May Habib join us. She is the CEO and co-founder of Ryder. We're going to be speaking to her about how they are bringing generative AI to large enterprises. Let's get started.
We've been in generative AI for the last 4 years, working on bringing generative AI to the enterprise. And what we've learned from folks is they need a full solution. LLMs are very powerful, but not enough to very quickly get to value on these mission-critical workflows.
And you know, you recently announced a $200 million Series C funding with some of the biggest and most influential companies backing this effort. Talk to me more about the partnership and why it was now the right time to have this fundraise.
We had some incredible corporates join the round: Salesforce, Adobe, Workday, IBM. And there's a real realization that enterprise generative AI, especially where we're going on agentic workflows, requires a real understanding of these real world mission critical flows that is just much more complex than folks thought. And I think being able to stitch together multiple systems, multiple departments with generative AI, rewiring these flows, requires really a coalition. And that's what is so exciting about the Series C that we raised.
What are your plans for this new funding round?
Certainly expand the team, expand our footprint, but invest in this next generation of models, action-oriented models that are capable of autonomous action inside of the enterprise with reliability, consistency, security that enterprises need.
Talk to me about how your past experiences have helped shape the ethos of your company today.
I grew up in a small family business and learned a lot about the importance of staying really close to the details.
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live, everyone. I'm Kristen Scholler here in studio at the Stock Exchange. Well, in just a moment, charitable organization God's Love We Deliver will celebrate the opening bell. And I do want to bring in Trinity Chavez, of course, with what else our viewers should know about this organization's work, Trinity.
A lot, actually, Kristen. God's Love We Deliver has been helping New Yorkers for nearly 40 years. The organization says that it's on a mission to improve the health and well-being of people living with HIV, AIDS, cancer, and other serious illnesses by alleviating hunger and malnutrition. God's Love We Deliver prepares and delivers meals to people who are unable to provide or prepare meals for themselves due to their illness. Additionally, the organization offers illness-specific nutrition education and counseling to its clients, families, care providers, and other service organizations. Now, God's Love We Deliver also adds that it cooks and delivers more than 10,000 meals each weekday and has delivered over 25 million medically tailored meals, Kristen. And later on in today's show, we'll be speaking with the bell ringer, Terrence Mack, to discuss the the organization's biggest goals for 2025. What should we expect after the bell, Kristen?
That's right, Trinity. There is a live look at that opening bell as we are set to start trade on this Friday. An incredible organization with an incredible mission. And let's take a listen. Take a look at that. A lot of cheers and excitement down here on the floor of the stock exchange as God's love we deliver opens the markets on this Friday. All right, well, a lot of cheering to go around as well after a much better than expected jobs report for the economy. Joining me now with more on the outlook is Todd Walsh. He's the CEO at Alpha Cubed Investments. Todd, great to have you on the show this morning. And 101,000 jobs more than economists expected actually added to the economy for the month of December. What should our viewers take away from this report?
Well, thanks for having me on, Kristen. I just want to acknowledge the ongoing devastation of the fires. We're in greater Los Angeles County, so our thoughts and prayers are with those folks. But that jobs number today was quite a scorcher. We've been seeing the 10-year kind of presage a lot of these sort of hawkish data points and continue to move up. And it's going to put pressure on the market. We've got a lot of catalysts for volatility this year, not the least of which is this continual stream of strong economic data that's going to put the Fed on heavy pause and maybe even on rate rising alert.
Explain that connection, Todd. And of course, we should note here too during this live broadcast that we are very much thinking of those in the Los Angeles area in the wake of these wildfires, as you mentioned earlier. Now, as jobs are underway here in terms of trading reaction on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, why is it that a strong economy could lead to volatility in the stock market?
Isn't that counterintuitive? That actually provides the counterpoint to some later discussions we can have about how this may end up working to the benefit of the markets in the long run. But in the short run, everybody's been anticipating and hoping for more Fed rate cuts. And the economic data, which had been coming in what we were calling marginal and mixed, right? We were getting marginally slowing data, which supports inflation coming down and being under control, but mixed with some positive data coming out, balancing it out and giving the Fed almost the look that they're going to pull off that soft landing. But this week particularly, we've been seeing hot data come out from the initial jobless claims yesterday or the day before, ISM services, JOLTS, and then today's scorching jobs report. It's clear that there's a lot of hot activity in the economy. The Fed has cut rates twice. There's been expectations and hopes that they'd be able to cut more. But this data is really gonna cause them to have to slow down and maybe even consider raising rates. We've been encouraging investors not to run to one side of the boat or the other, right? We work with retail high net worth investors, and it's really difficult to fight the news flow. You get, one economic data point, you get the market moving one way or the other. At the end of the day, good economic data in the long run is going to end up probably being a good thing for the economy. Mm-hmm. But if we're looking for that adrenaline rush or the sugar high of some more Fed rate cuts, they're not going to be able to do it because this hot data suggests that inflation might perk up a little bit more than people had been expecting.
And what could that mean for the path forward for interest rates, Todd, insofar that potentially we even see a rate hike at some point this year?
That's the temptation to run from one side of the boat to the other. We've seen a lot of rhetoric come out from analysts talking about potential rate hikes. And if this data continues and we start seeing inflation coming in hotter, that's what's going to happen. It's our view here, though, that this is going to be contained. We've got a lot of cross currents in the market right now, right? We come out of 2024 with another 25% gain in the S&P 500 after a 26% gain in 2023. If logic is our co-pilot, it dictates that we're going to see something different this year. So what does that look like? To us, it looks like volatility. We got high valuations. Let's not forget we have a new administration coming in about a week and a day. And then we have earnings season coming out, almost right around the corner, and it's coming into an almost perfectly priced market. And that's a recipe for volatility. If you remember last quarter, Microsoft missed on a couple of metrics, pretty good earnings report, but they got taken out to the woodshed and dropped, had their biggest drop in 2 years. We think we're going to see a lot of volatility, but as an investor, if you, again, use logic as your co-pilot and knowledge is power, and you expect volatility, you can put that to work for you as you continue to participate in the macro trends that are going to continue throughout this year and going forward, and use that volatility to improve your portfolio.
Very quickly, Todd, how should investors respond? What are you recommending to clients in the wake of this?
So if we're expecting volatility, there's some major trends happening, the hyperscaling of AI, some of the large tech companies which have gone up a lot. A lot of investors have been caught flat-footed and they're under allocated in those sectors. So use the volatility to add to the best names in the market so that you end 2025 in a much better position than you started. And in the meantime, we've seen rates go up. Our technical projections suggest we're going to cap out around 5%. It's a technical position. We'll see how the data comes in. We could see a measured move from that 3.6 and then consolidation and a move up to about 5% on the 10-year. We like owning dividends. It's the value sector has been beaten up in the last couple of weeks as rates have moved up, but we love dividends here. We think it'll smooth out the ride in 2025, and you're not gonna not like having those dividends coming in while the market's bouncing around, which we're already seeing today on the heels of this hot jobs report.
Todd Walsh, CEO and Chief Technical Analyst at Alpha Cubed Investments. Todd, thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right, well, up next, BlackBerry is driving toward boosting its recognition in the auto industry, and we'll have more on the other side of this short break.
Colleen, welcome to Floor Talk. It's great to have you on the show.
Judy, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, Colleen, you joined Planet Fitness as CEO in June. So tell me about your first 6 months.
It's been a very fast first 6 months. I've really leaned into spending time in our clubs and getting to know our franchisees, talking with our club team members and seeing how our members utilize our clubs. I call it feet on the street. It's been really insightful. And we've also worked on our strategic imperatives and kind of codified our roadmap for our growth ambition.
So tell me about your growth strategy and vision for the future of Planet Fitness.
Our 4 strategic imperatives really start with refining our brand promise and then making sure we pull that through in our marketing messaging. We're also leaning into member experience to make sure that we're connecting with our membership and enhancing our relationship with our members and delivering a format both inside and outside the clubs that's most meaningful for them and is going to enable them to accomplish their fitness goals. And then we lean in on format optimization and our equipment mix. And that's making sure that we've got the right mix of equipment for how our members want to utilize our clubs today. And when we get all of that right, and we're thoughtful about unit economics and build cost for our franchisees, it enables us to turn up the afterburners on growth.
Now, how will you redefine your brand strategy and communicate it effectively?
We're growing stronger together, and we're all strong on this planet. We're seeing across generational cohorts a focus on utilization of strength in our members' workout routines and our prospective member workout routines. So as we've done.
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live, everyone. I'm Kristen Scholler here in studio at the Stock Exchange. NYSE listed BlackBerry revved up excitement at CES this week as it announced it is relaunching its QNX brand in an effort to boost recognition and reinforce its leadership in the auto space. I spoke with Matthias Eriksson, president of BlackBerry's QNX division, about how the move puts the company in a position for success this year. Take a look.
Putting forward a portfolio that has changed dramatically over the last 3 years, and the brand is sort of the wrapper around all of this R&D that has happened, and we are very excited about this brand launch.
What has BlackBerry had to showcase at CES this year?
We're showcasing a number of different things. We are showcasing, first of all, our cloud-first approach to software development at the edge. We announced the partnership with AWS last year. This year we have productified it, and it's incredibly important for our customers and partners to have a cloud-first approach to edge software development. We are also showcasing our vehicle platform, an integrated platform for baseline software for an OEM that wants to accelerate the development, reduce costs, reduce complexity. And we have a couple of other things that we are taking customers through at the booth here at CES.
I'd be curious to know what those other things are, Matthias, and how you are really able to showcase your leadership when it comes to software-driven auto leadership.
Yes, so to give you an example, one of the middleware layers we help our OEMs implement is our QNX Sound platform. Essentially a software-based solution for everything acoustics in the car. We have a car demo downstairs. People come through, they listen to the quality of the sound that you can get from a car, and it also helps them move much, much faster in a more efficient way. That would be one example.
What are some collaborations specifically with companies like Microsoft and others that will enable you to work together here in this new phase?
Good question. So another announcement that we have here at CES this year is we're extending the collaboration with the cloud giants that we initiated the last 18 months. We started with AWS. We announced that last year. This year, we're announcing our next software development platform in the cloud for Microsoft Azure. Very, very important. We have, on the vehicle platform side, partnerships announced with companies like Vector and TT Tech. So we are a company that provides support for the ecosystem. We work through our partners and customers to do that. So the partner aspect is very important for us.
What can investors expect in this new year?
First of all, we are ramping the products that have been launched in the last 12 months. Our next generation software platform, our cloud-first approach, our cabin product. There is a lot of commercialization of the innovations that we've made over the last 3-4 years and announced over the last 12 months. As I'm sure your viewers are aware, the evolution of the software-defined vehicle is a very, very high priority for OEMs across the world, and we are having significant traction with this portfolio that has been in the making for 3-4 years now.
And what is your overall takeaway from CES this year?
I think, obviously, the automotive industry has been going through a lot of changes over the last couple of years, and there's more change to come. Everybody is struggling to deal with the technology complexity that is hitting the automotive industry. Everybody's trying to move faster. Everybody's trying to reduce complexity. Everybody's trying to improve quality. And as an ingredient supplier to the automotive industry, we are here to help. And you see a lot of that across the West Hall this year.
And with just a little bit of time left on the ground in Las Vegas, Matthias, what are your takeaways as you now get ready for the next 12 months?
We are extremely excited about the feedback we're getting from our customers. We are extremely excited about the challenges they're trying to overcome. And we can't wait to see how the next 12 to 24 months are going to play out.
All right, thanks again to Matthias Eriksson for that interview. Well, stay with us. We'll have more NYSE TV Live on the other side of this short break.
God's Love We Deliver has delivered 40 million meals, which is just an extraordinary testament to New Yorkers and the level of compassion they feel for each other. I really want to applaud all the people who volunteer, who step in and make a difference.
Whether you're from one of the 5 boroughs of New York, Westchester, Long Island, or even Hudson County, New Jersey, you are getting a meal that fits your situation, that fits and speaks to your illness. That alone puts a smile on my face and in my heart.
I joined the board of God's Love We Deliver about 5 years ago, and I've always admired their work. Today, to be celebrating 40 million meals. It is amazing, and I am so thrilled to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful organization.
What's up, New York? It's Rosie Perez, and I'm here to tell you about God's Love We Deliver. Because no matter how you say it, when you're feeling sick, the right food makes all the difference. And when you're really sick with something like diabetes, cancer, HIV, or any kind of life-altering illness, food is medicine. That's why, since 1985, God's Love We Deliver has cooked and home-delivered medically tailored meals to New Yorkers who are too sick to shop or cook for themselves. And they provide for their children and caregivers too. God's Love is the only organization in the city that does this, and it's all free of charge. No matter what language you speak, we all understand the healing power of a delicious, nutritious meal. So, if you or someone you know would benefit from medically tailored meals, or if you'd like to volunteer or donate, visit glwd.org. God's Love We Deliver. Meals that heal, delivered with love.
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live. I'm Trinity Chavez in studio at the New York Stock Exchange. Now, God's Love We Deliver has been a lifeline for New Yorkers for nearly 40 years, providing medically tailored, home-delivered meals to those in need. With their 40 millionth meal served and a big anniversary ahead, Terrence Meck, the CEO and president, is joining me now to share more about their incredible story and impact. Terrence,
thank you,
it's
Trinity.
great to have you on the show
so
with
great
us.
to be here.
And you know, you're fresh off the Bell
Oh my
podium.
God.
All eyes were
That
on
was
you.
amazing. I mean, what a thrill. It's my first time on the floor, my first time in this building, and that was really special.
And you know, I said it in a lead-in, this is an organization that's been established for nearly 40 years. 40 million meals later. I know you've been with this organization for 16 years, but this is day 5 as president and
sure
CEO.
Is. Quite a week to start.
Quite a week to start, quite a year away to start
Absolutely.
2025. How are you feeling in this moment, and how do you plan to continue this momentum?
Thank you. It is an unbelievable feeling. I mean, God's Love has been around since 1985. We started with one woman delivering 1 bag of groceries to her friend dying from AIDS. Today, we are cooking and delivering millions of medically tailored meals to thousands and thousands of New Yorkers in need. It's unbelievable what we've done for 40 years, and being able to celebrate it in this way is, you know, the pure joy that resonates out of God's Love every day was felt on this floor, so it just felt so perfect.
And tell me how you curate these meals to really fit the dietitian needs of the individuals that you're serving.
Absolutely. What we do is really unique. You know, medically tailored meals happen because our clients have access to registered dietitians. These registered dietitians, you know, custom tailor their meals to the diagnosis of our clients. And our clients now, we started as an AIDS organization, our clients are suffering with over 200 diagnoses. So it's really complex what these dietitians do, and they're tailoring each meal to their needs. And that's how the nutrition works. And we do it because we know it works. I mean, through years of dedication and years of research, we know that our clients are 70% less chance of going into the ER and 50% chance of going into the hospital and being admitted.
Wow.
And when you look at healthcare costs, we've also shown that 60% net savings for people who are served medically tailored meals. I mean, these numbers are huge.
Yeah.
What we do works. Like, we've always known that food is love, but we've now really proven that food is truly medicine.
And you know, you have 23,000 volunteers now.
It's unbelievable.
And you know, as I said earlier, you know, you've been with the organization for about 16 years now. We have about 60 seconds left, so talk to me about some of the key significant milestones that you're most proud of in your tenure with this organization?
Oh my God. I mean, I started as a volunteer soon after losing my husband to cancer. So the mission is so important to me. I think about it every day I walk in those doors. But we get to celebrate every day with 23,000 people in and out of our doors. They're bringing their compassion, their love, their commitment. And it's that love that gets transferred into our food and eventually to our clients. I mean, getting to see the smile and joy on our clients' faces and knowing that we're nurturing them and giving this healing food, it's worth every minute and everything we've done over these last 40 years.
And we love helping tell stories like this every day here on the show.
Thank you so much for helping tell our story.
And thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you,
It's
Trinity.
a pleasure having you.
It's great to be here.
Now again, that was Terrence Meck. He is the CEO and president of God's Love We Deliver. Now, as we continue our coverage of CES 2025, this week our partner Cheddar is on the ground, or in this case, in the water and on the road. Here's a look at what's happening there on the ground and how two companies are looking to shift gears in the EV transportation space.
The electric vehicle revolution isn't just changing how we commute, it's transforming how we live and play. Here at CES in Las Vegas, two innovative companies are showcasing how they're electrifying recreation, from the water to the open road. ARC pushing the boating industry forward with their new all-electric ARC Sport, and Pebble, who is reimagining the RV experience. On the waters of Lake Mead, the ARC Sport demonstrates just how far electric boating has come.
Electric boats solve all those core pain points of boat ownership, from the maintenance headache to the reliability concerns to how expensive they are to operate, to the noise factor, to the fumes that you inhale, to the need to winterize them. Electric boats don't have any of that. You use them for 4 to 6 hours during the day, and that gives you a long period of time to charge them overnight.
This isn't just any boat. It's a 500 horsepower electric marvel designed by a team of former Tesla and SpaceX engineers. The initial acceleration knocked me off my seat.
What we are doing is really hard, but it is made possible by the fact that the automotive industry has poured a ton of money into R&D to develop supply chains for battery modules and power electronics. We're tapping into those automotive supply chains, and we're doing that on incredibly fast timelines. The ARC Sport is the second boat that we brought to market in just a 4-year span.
The ARC Sport's technology goes far beyond its electric powertrain. Like a Tesla on water, it receives regular over-the-air software updates.
One of the awesome parts about the ARC Sport is that it gets better after you receive it. You get access to new features, to new performance benefits.
3 strategically placed cameras provide comprehensive visibility, while an advanced wake system makes water sports accessible to both beginners and experts, delivering a consistent flow of the perfect wave.
On your driver screen, you have depth information, your speed, your RPMs, throttle indicator, water temperature, and then you also have camera overlays that you can put on the screen for being able to see while you're driving somebody that's in the water behind you. On the entertainment display, you obviously have your music and your cruise control system, and then a fully configurable in-house system for displaying everything from ballast to camera views, maps.
Perhaps most impressive is the sport's maneuverability.
In addition to the main propeller, which packs 500 horsepower, we also have a thruster up front and a thruster in the back. And what that does is give you complete control over the maneuverability of this boat, whether that's turning it 360 degrees off of a center pivot point, walking the boat sideways. This is an incredibly valuable system for docking.
Meanwhile, on land, Pebble is tackling another recreational frontier, RV travel. Their all-electric travel trailer isn't just sustainable, it's packed with cutting-edge technology powered by NVIDIA's advanced Orin chip.
We've created basically an all-electric travel trailer, which is powered by electric motors and has a 45 kilowatt battery. So it's essentially pushing itself while you're towing it. So that addresses one of the major issues that we have with RVing, which is range anxiety.
One of Pebble's most innovative features is the Magic Hitch system, which takes the stress out of what has traditionally been one of RV's biggest challenges, connecting the trailer to your vehicle. Using advanced vision systems and computing power, the process is now fully automated. Pebble's InstaCamp feature transforms setup from an hour-long ordeal into a one-button operation.
InstaCamp is kind of like the button that you press when you arrive at camp. You hit that button and the vehicle just does everything for you that you would normally need to do on your own, right? So it deploys the awning, it deploys the stairs, it deploys the levelers, everything around the camp that basically would take you an hour to set up otherwise.
All these systems are controlled through a centralized app that comes with the vehicle. Inside the Pebble Flow, every aspect of RV living has been reimagined.
Welcome to the Pebble Flow, you guys. Come on in, let me show you around. You'll see this is what we call the dinette area, and it converts into a sleeping space for two. Storage space is a huge issue in RVs. We've packed every possible square inch with storage capabilities. And we've got a really large, basically full-size fridge. We've got a 4-in-1 microwave. We have a really generous kitchen area, an induction cooktop. You can actually take it out of the vehicle. Very, very spacious bathroom environment for an RV. And one of the coolest features, glass, which goes opaque.
The rear transforms from a queen-size Murphy bed into an office space, perfect for remote work. On the roof, 1.1 kilowatts of solar panels provide sustainable power, enabling up to a week of off-grid living.
With this battery charged and that solar system and the way that we've efficiently designed all the appliances, you can go off-grid for a full week in this vehicle, no problem.
Both companies are just getting started. ARC is ramping up production of the Sport, with deliveries stretching into late 2025. Pebble's Flow starts at $175,000, with first deliveries beginning this year. The company is already exploring ideas to connect multiple Pebbles together, creating collaborative spaces for group travel.
I like to think about what happens if you have multiple users and they all own Pebbles and they want to camp together. You know, how can they collaborate with space and capabilities and computation in order to make that a unique experience?
Reporting from CES in Las Vegas, I'm Chris Castellino.
Now, for more on this, I do want to bring in my colleague, Kristen Scholler. Kristen, I mean, you saw that package right there with ARC and Pebble, that collaboration. I mean, after seeing that video, I just want to go on vacation now.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, Trinity, especially to see those innovations, right? And the technology and entertainment truly of the future. Of course, our coverage of CES all throughout the week has been including all sorts of innovations and showcases as we get ready to wrap up, of course, 2024 and begin 2025. Yeah. All right, well, of course, the market's still very much in focus as well. We had a better than expected jobs report out earlier this morning. 256,000 jobs added in the final month of 2024 for December, bringing in total it to 2.2 million job additions for all of 2024. Quite solid. We've had many economists on this show say that they do anticipate very solid economic activity throughout the year. And of course, that will impact the economy as well. Trinity, we had God's Love We Deliver celebrating the opening bell today. A wonderful interview that you did with Terrence Meck as well.
Yeah, no, Terrence, I mean, this is only day 5 as president and CEO with this organization, but he's been with God's Love We Deliver for 16 years. Fast forward years later, over 40 million meals and 23,000 volunteers. And so, I mean, this is really significant to the important work that they are doing. And we get to tell that story here on our show.
That's exactly right, Trinity. That's going to do it, of course, for Friday's show. But join us Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. From Trinity Chavez, Kristen Scholler, thank you for watching.
Thank you for being innovators in the market. Thank you for all you do every day to show the world what best in class truly means.
We are incredibly proud to join the ranks of other highly successful companies who partnered with this legendary institution.
What a time to be here. I am so proud of what we're doing.
This is a huge milestone for our business. There's a lot of people responsible for getting to where we are today.
We have a role to play in bridging the gaps that exist today between us.
Not many people get to do something big in this world, and we get to do something truly special.
This is such a wonderful place to both look back and look forward. I'm so optimistic about what lies ahead. It has been a privilege to be with you.